Allegation number 1. From 2013 to 2016, CEO of Community Barnet Julie Powell, trustee for Mind, employed drug trafficker Breeder Maguire, after serving 6 years in custody for carrying €500,000 of heroin across the border into the Republic of Ireland, allowing Maguire to obtain a position of trust in which she exploited a child. Julie failed to take the appropriate action. Evidence of employment. Exhibit 1. Maguire's email and phone number promoted through school circular. Exhibit 2. Picture online of Maguire at a horse fair and organization's logo underneath. Exhibit 3. Minute from professionals meeting regarding exploitation. Clearly states, professional subject of allegation, Breeder Maguire. Exhibit 4. Minute from meeting on the 10th of the 3rd, 2016. Julie stated, from Community Barnet's point of view, they have not had any contact with BM, Breeder Maguire, since her HR meeting with Julie. Regarding Allegation 1, evidence clearly proves Julie Powell employed a drug trafficker and promoted her around local schools. We find Julie Powell guilty of Allegation 1. Key statute and mandatory guidance, remembering Julie Powell's legal duty of care. Children Act, 1989 and 2004. Duty to safeguard and promote the welfare of children. Organizations providing services to children must take all reasonable steps to prevent unsuitable people from having access. Working together to safeguard children, statutory guidance, latest 2023, requires robust safer recruitment policies, identity checks, references, enhanced DBS checks, where the role is regulated activity and ongoing supervision. Safeguarding Vulnerable Groups Act 2006 and Protection of Freedoms Act 2012 creates a children's and adults barred list. Criminal offence to employ or engage someone in regulated activity if they are on a barred list or to fail to make a referral when harm occurs. Charity Commission Guidance CC30 and CC3, Safeguarding and Trustee Duties. Trustees must have and follow safer recruitment procedures, carry out risk assessments and report serious incidents. Disclosure and borrowing services. DBS Code of Practice sets out how checks must be requested, recorded and acted on. Possible breaches for Julie Powell. Possible breaches. Failure to carry out an enhanced DBS check if the role met the regulated activity test. Failure to act on relevant disclosure. Ignoring a serious conviction. Failing to take appropriate action regarding staff member exploiting child. Negligence in safeguarding duties under the Children Act and Working Together Guidance. Charity Commission Serious Incident Rule, if the trustee failed to report and mitigate the risk. Note to Charity Commission. The Charity Commission must investigate when an organisation becomes aware that an employee or volunteer, especially someone working with children, has obtained a DBS certificate fraudulently, or had a serious criminal history involving child exploitation. Immediate safeguarding action is required. National Safeguarding Guidance, Safer Recruitment Policy, and Charity Law all make it clear. Protecting the child's safety comes before protecting the organization's reputation. Julie Powell should have acted on that duty. We demand fair investigations and the human rights of the public upheld. Step by step, what should have happened under UK law and guidance. Immediate safeguarding action. Working together to safeguard children, statutory guidance, requires the organisation to treat it as a serious safeguarding incident. The lead should make sure the child is safe, record what's known, and decide within hours, not days, who to alert. Referrals and notifications. Local Authority Designated Officer, LADO. Any allegation that someone in a position of trust may have harmed or risked harm to a child must be reported to the LADO the same working day. DBS referral. If there's a risk of harm, The charity has a legal duty under the Safeguarding Vulnerable Groups Act 2006 to refer the individual to the Disclosure and Borrowing Service so they can consider borrowing. Charity Commission Serious Incident Report. Trustees must file this as soon as they are aware. Police and Children's Social Care. If there's evidence or reasonable suspicion of a crime, sexual or child exploitation, fraud on a DBS application, or child cruelty, the organisation should contact the police directly as well as social services. We would like to see Judy Powell's report to the police and reference number. Following due process guidelines, policies and procedures regarding safeguarding in the UK, we demand child safety is made paramount by our police force. What we expect from the Charity Commission. This isn't a pick and choose menu, it's laid out in their own guidance and in law. 1. Acknowledge and triage the report. They log the serious incident and decide if it's a regulatory concern. Fraudulent DBS, child exploitation, safeguarding failure all qualify. 2. Liaise with statutory bodies. They check that the police, local authority, safeguarding team and the Disclosure and Borrowing Service have been alerted. If not, they require the trustees to do so immediately. 3. Open a regulatory case under the Charities Act 2011. They can launch a statutory inquiry that gives them powers to demand documents and records, freeze bank accounts or suspend trustees if needed, issue protective orders to stop further risk. 4. Review governance and safeguarding. They test whether the charity followed working together to safeguard children. The Commission's own safeguarding guidance, CC3, CC30 and safer recruitment standards. Failure to follow these can be treated as mismanagement or misconduct. Enforce and report. Depending on findings, they can give an official warning, remove or disqualify trustees, appoint an interim manager, publish a report so the outcome is on public record. In short, once a credible report of criminal exploitation comes in, the Commissioner's job is to ensure children are safe right now, that the trustees meet their legal duties, and that any wrongdoing is exposed and corrected, not hidden. Public statement for regulatory bodies. To the Charity Commission, Metropolitan Police Service Safeguarding Unit, Ofsted, Social Work England, Information Commissioner's Office, Department of Education, Safeguarding and Children's Social Care, and any other relevant statutory authority. On the 18th of May, a formal email was sent to socialcare@barnet.gov.uk, fscomplaints@barnet.org.uk, and admin@communitybarnet.org.uk. The message advised that a series of public videos was being prepared concerning serious safeguarding concerns involving senior figures, including Julie Powell and Councillor Barry Rawland, leader of the council. He was then the safeguarding officer for Community Barnet. Recipients were given 7 days to respond. Unfortunately, no response was received. Within a month, Ms. Powell resigned from her long-standing position at Community Barnet. Prior to that, she had worked for Barnet Local Authority for over 10 years. Her departure came amid serious safeguarding allegations that are now before the Administrative Court as part of ongoing judicial review proceedings. These events raised significant concern about compliance with the Children's Act 1989 and 2004, sections on safeguarding and the duty to protect children, the Charities Commission, Serious Incident Report requirements, working together to safeguard children statutory guidance, and trustees' legal duties under the Charities Act 2011. Despite detailed complaints and supporting evidence, there has been no independent reinvestigation and no formal collection of victims or professional witness statements. We therefore request that the above-named bodies 1. Reopen the original safeguarding investigation, 2. Conduct a full review of all available evidence including witness and victim statements. 3. Determine whether statutory duties, regulatory obligations, and professional codes of conduct have been breached. 4. Take any enforcement, disciplinary action required to protect children and the public. This statement is issued in the public's interest to protect children and families and to ensure that safeguarding law and policy are properly upheld. Please contact Andrea O'Shaughnessy for further information. Thank you. For more information and to learn more, please visit Lucy Troubles on YouTube. Hashtag Speak the Truth to Stop the Abuse. Hashtag No More Silence. In part 1, we showed how Julie Powell hired a convicted drug smuggler and promoted her around schools and community centres despite the risks. Part 2 turns to what happened next. The exploitation of a child, my daughter, and how those in charge neglected their duty to protect and allowed the risk to continue. Let's talk about the truth of what really goes on in Barnet, and let's start with the child's allegation and where it went from there. Records show that she told the social worker that Breeder took her out and did bad stuff. She said stealing. She said Breeder was shoplifting. A clear allegation made by the child victim to social worker. The social worker's name is Esther Donker. So before we break down allegation 2, we would like to give you some of the history. Prior to the exploitation of the child, the family had only moved to Dollis Valley due to suffering previous harassment in a previous property, all documented with Barnet Council as antisocial behaviour officer Samantha from Montgomery attended mediation. Also note that Barnet Homes provide the building to Barnet Community Projects and continue to fund them despite the National Lottery removing funding early. Prior to the incident, the parent volunteered in a local community centre for a short period of time. In the time the mother spent as a volunteer in the community centre, she was struck by the manager, who was visibly drunk. While staff from Art Against Knives and the centre manager Steve Neal were present, nobody approached the mother to make a complaint and was expected to work with the manager the next day, but refused and asked to make a complaint. It was only after this the manager was fired from her position. Following her departure, Steve Neal offered the mother a paid position. On the first day of that paid job, he brought in a man from the estate who was friends with the manager that struck the mother, using another chef's paperwork giving him full access to the building. Soon after, staff pressure and bullying forced the mother out. The centre continued to host outside projects. One of those was Art Against Knives, run on site by Katie Dorr and her work and life partner Ricardo Stewart, who reassured the parent they were independent of Barnet Community Projects and only rented the space. Because of this reassurance, she allowed her daughters to attend their sessions. It was during this period after the mother's departure that the incident involving Maguire and her child took place. Timeline: late December 2015, early January 2016. The child disclosed to her mother that she had been criminally exploited by Maguire, who had manipulated the parent into allowing her child to go out with Maguire in her professional capacity as a treat for the child for receiving a Jack Petty Award for partaking in a dance class ran by Maguire and promoted to the mother by Katie Dorr of Art Against Knives. The mother immediately contacted the Metropolitan Police, who advised that the incident fell under Hertfordshire Police due to the location of the shoplifting. She then called Hertfordshire Police and visited local shops and requested preservation of CCTV footage. Initial reporting: the mother reported the incident to Katie Dorr the same time as reporting to the police, as it was Katie that allocated Maguire to the family. The mother also reported the incident to Community Barnet's Julie Powell on the 14th of January. The mother was asked to attend the Rainbow Centre almost 2 weeks later by Katie Dorr, where she had Maguire in the office waiting to confront the mother. Katie's partner Ricardo Stewart was also present, who got Youth Leader of the Year from London Youth soon after this incident. 2 of the children entered the building but were retrieved after the mother refused to meet Maguire without police or safeguarding staff. Another call to the Met Police resulted in a crime number, which was given to Julie Powell, Richard Cornelius, Alison Cornelius, and Steve Neal of Barnet Community Projects on the 14th of January 2016. Following safeguarding policies and procedures, here is step by step what should have happened on the UK law and guidance. 1. Immediate safeguarding response. Following Working Together to Safeguard Children 2023. Children's Act 1989 and 2004 duties. Make an urgent referral to the local authority designated officer, LADO, within 24 hours, not weeks. Ensure the individual is removed from any contact with children pending an investigation. We do not have them waiting at premises for the victims. 2. Notify statutory agencies. Police, Section 11, Children's Act 2004 places a duty to share information where a child may be at risk of significant harm. We do not try and cover up the process. Disclosure and Barring Service, DBS. Legal duty under the Safeguarding Vulnerable Groups Act 2006 to make a referral if someone working with children poses a risk. Serious Incident Reporting Framework requires trustees to report incidents of abuse or exploitation. 3. Suspend and investigate internally. We do not leave them in position and promote them round local schools through school circulars. You must apply safer recruitment policy, keeping children safe in education, Charity Commission Guidance CC3, and carry out a documented risk assessment and disciplinary process. We've shown that a convicted drug trafficker was hired into a child-facing role and that when the exploitation disclosure surfaced, Katie Dorr waited 2 weeks to act. Instead of safeguarding, she arranged a meeting with a trafficker present in a centre full of children. That left me no choice but to file a report with the Met. This is the point where the formal investigation should have begun. The next section looks at what happened once that report was made, who picked it up and what steps they took, and where the protest began to unravel. The investigation protected organisations and not the victim. First, let's explain the conflicts of interest and the professionals who conducted the investigation. Attendees, description and history. Lado, Chair. Srimati, Possessor. Who later stated that Chris Munday took the power out of her hands when it came to decisions regarding action against Maguire. Mother recalls asking Srimati, "Why didn't you take action against Breeder when I proved she was a drug smuggler?" Srimati's reported reply, "I'm sorry, Andrea, Chris Munday took that decision out of my hands." So the League Lado sat back and watched the Chief Director of Children's Social Care label the mother vexatious. Why? Chloe Pepper Karish, this officer does not exist. As confirmed by the Met, the documented child abuse investigation officer had not registered under their real name. The real name is Cleo Papacristo. Clear GDPR breach. Police also confirmed records are missing. Parent retrieved SARS with full documents showing the council failed to comply with police requests. Social worker Esther Donker. Social worker who, according to the mother, gave false information to police regarding harassment, acting on statements from Maguire. According to D.I. Papakarish or Cleo Papacristo, there was no allegation made, but social work history clearly shows that the allegation was clearly made to Esther Donker by the child while the mother wasn't even present. Safeguarding advisor, now leader of the council, Councillor Barry Rawlins, advised to communicate with the mother while overseeing the Rainbow Centre investigation, but refused to answer emails. When the mother met him by chance and asked why, he reportedly said, "I have been advised by David Tatlow that I can speak to you face to face but not via email, as this could lead to a court case." At a later meeting, he allegedly told her the police closed the case and decided to take no action. He was the safeguarding officer and allowed Maguire to remain in post until the mother proved Maguire was a drug smuggler. CEO Community Barnet, Julie Powell employed Maguire, had no safeguarding training and due to delays evidence could have been lost. Later required Maguire to resign but took no further action, explained in timeline to come. Art Against Knives Katie Dorr allocated Maguire to the family and arranged for Maguire to meet the mother at the centre, failed to report within 24 hours to the appropriate authority and misled professionals, including making a fourth report to Children's Social Care, later admitted she had never had any concern for the children's welfare. When challenged by Jack Newton, also explained later in timeline. BCP Barnet Community Projects, Steve Neal, manager of the community centre, claimed to be head trustee, though the actual head trustee was Ken Moulton. Witnessed a mother being hit by his supervisor while she worked there. The mother logged a complaint and refused to work with that supervisor. He was later required to resign. National Lottery funding was removed early, following information provided by mother.
This is Breeder Maguire's daughter outside my front door. Mr. Maguire's daughter, brother, was my family support worker.
Housing, David Allahan. Full email thread available with the mother. Allegedly fouled his duty to protect under the Care Act. Evidence shows Barnet Homes continue to fund Barnet Community Projects BCP and provided a building despite clear evidence of children being corrupted and professionals in the building colluding to prevent legal accountability, thereby re-victimizing the victims. Breakdown videos available on YouTube. Since then, numerous reports of harassment have been made to both social services, Barnet Homes and the police, all ignored and passed a buck, leaving the family to suffer neglect of services leading to suicide attempts. So, when you step back, it's clear this was never independent. Every person in that meeting had a conflict of interest. The league laddo overruled. The police using false names, a social worker spreading false information, the safeguarding advisor acting on legal advice not to respond, CEOs investigating their own failings, and housing officers protecting council property over child safety. The crime was substantiated, yet the police took no action. That's not safeguarding, that is self-preservation. This investigation protected organisations, not the victim. And now, with the evidence they try to suppress finally exposed, a fair and lawful investigation must be opened, one that's free from the people who caused the harm in the first place. The next video will show who lied to the Ombudsman and who suppressed all the new evidence and prevented a fair investigation when the new evidence come to light. Lucy Troubles, speak the truth to stop the abuse. No more silence, no more fear. We must all come together to prevent harm to our children.